Hi, team. Welcome to a quick training for managers hiring team members here who are going to be using Recruiterbox to track their candidates, also to leave the interview feedback and basically go about their day while being asked for some feedback on people applying to their positions. So everything in Recruiterbox is going to come to you by email as well. So I'm going to show you what that looks like to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Here's my inbox. I just got invited to assist with hiring at my fictitious bakery called Chelsea's Bakery, and there's my invitation. So if you haven't got that yet, when you do, you're just going to click on it and activate your account, which will let you log into Recruiterbox to get things done. As your team asks you for input on specific tasks, like, for example, here's a new candidate we think for your parts specialist position, it's going to come to you by email. So you can just simply click on the links that you receive from us and go about your day. So anything we need from you will come in by email. If I were to click view candidate profile, it would take me to Karen's profile and I can leave my feedback on what I see there, the resume, the contact info, and say, hey, this is a great candidate, or I'm not so thrilled, and then go about my day. So just know that Recruiterbox is going to keep pinging you by email. We'll send you daily summary messages too. So if you forget something, don't worry about it. We'll tell you in the next morning about 8 a.m. local time, here's stuff that's outstanding from you. If you choose to log in, we're going to do the same thing, give you a nice consolidated dashboard to tell you here's what's going on for the day. So here's my dashboard. Welcome, Dylan. Here's what needs your attention. I have 2 reviews pending on me. Those same emails I have for Karen and Paul are represented here. If I were to finish these right now, my dashboard would update and say, Dylan, you're done for the day. So let's keep working. Say I need to take a look at Paul here and leave my review. So if I click on this, I'm taken to the candidate dashboard. I can complete any number of tasks I'd like to here. Read the profile data about Paul, send Paul an email, leave a comment on Paul, so free form kind of chat room about the candidate. So for example, I can just ask some questions here too. I can say at Chelsea, who's one of my managers. Just a way to add a comment. Chelsea's going to get that by email. Feedback. So this shows any prior feedback from your colleagues or any feedback outstanding that needs to be done for the day. So you'll always be able to see what other people thought of the candidate should you be a part of a group interview or a group review stage. So right now I notice I've got sent to manager review. Candidate is sitting in this stage, and you'll notice here my review is pending. I've yet to submit it. So let me give my thoughts about Paul. So I'm going to take a quick look at how experienced Paul might be. Now, recognizing this is a very short resume, but should I feel very positive about Paul's candidacy, I'm going to go ahead and write that down. So I hit review is pending. I'm going to give Paul a double thumbs up and say, Paul seems great. Let's interview him. Okay, so I hit my review. I'm in. It's there. Everybody else with access to this candidate can see this review should they need to reflect on what I thought of as one of the hiring managers. And now I think because I like them, I think it's time to move them to face-to-face, get them in the face-to-face interview, bring Paul in, see if Paul's as good as he seems on paper. So if I move to this stage, simply by clicking the button, Paul is now ready for the Skype interview that my team usually conducts in this stage. If I'm ready to schedule it, then that's all I got to do is hit schedule interview. This brings up my interview screen here, asks me who's going to be attending. The default here is a Skype. I could always change this to a telephone call. It pre-fills the candidate's phone number. Either way, it can be any of these mediums. I'm going to say I'm going to take the interview. So that simply is clicking in the interview field and selecting who that is. If I need to add other colleagues, I'm going to bring Chelsea in on this as well. Or let's go ahead and see if I can find somebody. Aha, got my friend Annette here. Put them in. Duration 30 minutes, and I'll pick a start time. Let's go ahead and go for Friday. And this is in my local time. Not gonna do it 8:30 at night. Let's pull it up. And let's see, let's do this for a 9:30 a.m. 20th of July, 2018, Pacific Daylight Time. All right, simply click schedule interview, and that grabs calendar invites from myself and for Annette. So we're invited and ready to go. It now asks me, do I want to write to the candidate? So it's a second, kind of a 2-part stage. So if I've already scheduled with Annette and I coming to the interview, I can then tell Paul, who's the candidate, something a little more specific. Since I bet Annette and I know exactly what room we're going to, what questions we're going to bring. What I want to tell Paul is, hi, Paul, thank you again for applying. Here's an invite. You'll notice I already have an invite set to the company here. So already attached to the email. Here's an invite to attend an in-person interview. See you soon. And then all I do is simply send that message to the candidate, and then they have their invite ready to go. The activity will always update on the right-hand side. So you notice I'm in the face-to-face stage. I have a telephone interview set. I'm already confirmed. We're just waiting to hear back from Annette. If we look back at my email, then I've got my telephone interview reminder here ready to add to my calendar. So all of that is just like you're used to seeing in Outlook or Gmail. You're going to get these invites from us to attend. Now, if I were to come back here on Friday after this interview completed, then the system automatically knows based on the duration. So at around 10 a.m. on the 20th of July, I'm going to get another email from Recruiterbox saying, hey, you took an interview with Paul Smith. Leave us your feedback. And I simply put that in the system. And I'll keep getting reminded about outstanding feedback every day until I finish it. So you notice here under the feedback tab, here's my telephone interview I just scheduled. We're still waiting for Annette and myself because, of course, the interview hasn't finished. Should I want to jump ahead here and pretend it's Friday, I can simply hit View Evaluation Form and put this in and say, Paul is excellent. Just really like this guy. Submit evaluation. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so I'll wait for Annette to submit theirs, but it looks like we're done with Paul for right now. Paul's passed through their 2 phases. Let me go back to my dashboard and figure out what else is waiting for me here. Cool. So I haven't screened Karen yet, and I also look like I have a candidate where interview is yet to confirm. So you notice I invited Annette to that interview. Annette has yet to tell me that they could come, so we're going to keep warning me about that. I'll keep an eye on that because I know that's happening Friday. So let's get Karen off my dashboard. Let's go ahead and take a look at Karen's candidacy. I click on this link, I'm taken to an identical profile in terms of the data here, just like you saw in Paul. I can go through their emails, comments, feedback, schedule interviews, all those things are always available to me. Now, say I'm making a decision here, I'm gonna say, you know what, Karen, just, I don't think so. Not thrilled here. So I'm gonna leave my review because I've been asked to. I'm gonna say no. Just not experienced enough. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my negative review. That's reflected here. And then because they're in the screening stage and I don't think we need to progress them any further, I'm going to reject them. That option is always available to me here. So I'm simply going to click reject. And I'm going to pick a reason. So my team has a few custom reasons here. You may have different ones on your screen, but I'm just going to go ahead with not a fit. Might add a little explanation. I'll say reasons we need. And I'm simply going to hit reject candidate. Now, it's optional, but you are prompted here if you'd like to write to the candidate and tell them that they were rejected. That's complete within your control. You could also use a rejection template. If your team had set one up, you've got these email templates to use here, and you can simply tell the system, load in my rejection template and send that to the candidate. I'm going to choose not to write to them at the moment. So now you see here, we've got Karen is status rejected. It tells you why and who did the rejection and the explanation, all on the right-hand side. And Karen is now off my dashboard because they've been what we call decisioned. Someone's made a choice on them and they're not going to proceed any further. If for any reason you make a mistake, hit reject and confirm a rejection by accident, you can always back that up. That's these 3 little buttons here. Take a look and I can always revert should I ever make a mistake there when it comes down to marking rejection. I go back to the dashboard. Perfect. So I've just got one candidate to be advanced, and that is still waiting here. So I'm just waiting for my interviewers to move ahead for Paul Smith, but otherwise I have cleared my dashboard. If you'd like to take a look at your candidate menu, just take a look at people you've looked at in the past or get back to folks that aren't waiting on your pending task here, I've got candidates I can look at here, and I'm going to clear out these pending task options and just take a look at everybody. So you can notice here, Paul's the last remaining candidate because I have rejected everybody else. So Paul here is in the face-to-face stage. Decisioned folks I've rejected or archived or otherwise taken care of. You notice they'll appear under the decisioned menu, which means they're completed. But if I need to get back to anything, I always can by basically coming to the candidates menu, telling the system what I care about, candidates and active openings in this case, or if I had any filters I want to add, this is quite powerful. You could tell the system, show me candidates waiting on me for the last 7 days, show me people who applied in the last 45 days. You can always change the filters here. Candidates menu will let you come back, take a look at folks you both need to look at and folks you reviewed in the past. If you need to search for candidates, you can do that here as well. You can tell the system just simply show me the Pauls that are in the system. If I can't remember who I rejected last, I need to get back to them. I always can tell the system, show me everybody I rejected, and click it. And here's everyone that I rejected. So using the candidates menu is simply a place for you to come in, tell us what you want to take a look at for the day, and we'll show it to you. If you click on the openings button here on the left, it's going to show you the job openings or the requisitions you are a part of. Right now, my name only appears in the parts specialist field, but if you were added to future openings, you will see this list grow. And this is based on your administrative colleagues or your HR team adding your name to certain parts of an opening where they think they need your input, and that's where you appear. So my dashboard's good. I'm just waiting here for Annette to confirm their confirmation. So let's move on to other things. I'm going to go over here to my settings menu and just show you some places where you can add some things that might make your day a little shorter. So go to personal settings. I have control, of course, over my profile and password. These are things like changing my email address, change my username. Should I move, I can always change my time zone, those kind of things. Changing password at the top. Email notifications. If I'm getting too much email from the system, I'd like to log in rather than to get notified about everything. I can always turn email notifications down or off via this one. So I can come in here and turn things off that I don't want to hear about. Email templates, place to come in, create templates that you would prefer to use when talking to candidates. By default, people who create these will be shared with the whole team. So I bet your HR team has a few you can already leverage, but just know you can come here and make your own email templates. Out of office, if you'd like our system to send an out of office responder for a certain amount of time to candidates who email you, you simply can right here, hitting the out of office responder. Sync your calendar. It's an option your team can use anytime. And app preferences. This is actually a really handy little menu. If you click on it, you can enable keyboard shortcuts, which are simply a way to keyboard nav your way around the system. But more importantly, default candidates openings list. So when you click on openings or candidates, what would you like to see by default when you land there? I'm actually going to change mine to show unread. I prefer that when I log in and click on candidates. I want to see people I just haven't looked at. Openings, I would go with those that are assigned to me. I'll keep those as my two defaults. That makes it the easiest for me to use. Down here along the bottom, I'll just mention a few other things. Changing settings, we're already there. Reports, these are reports that you can run on openings you're assigned to. So if you want to take a look at some interesting stuff about activity or movement, those kind of things, you can always do that from reports. The little present icon at the bottom is simply going to tell you what's up with us. Are we adding new features? What's going on with Recruiterbox? It's our news channel. This will light up for you when we've got a new feature coming out. And most importantly, when you hit the question mark at the bottom of our system, you can talk to our 24/5 support team, put in things, look at our knowledge base, read our current help articles, all those kind of things. So I can search for things like calendar, or if I want to talk to somebody here, I can just hit the mail us icon and shoot off an email really quickly if I need any help or anything goes wrong. And again, that email address is support@recruiterbox.com. If you have any questions, just let us know. And I thank you all for using Recruiterbox.